We are live.
Hello.
Move that down. There we go. That's better.
Hello.
You just got to get notification. So I'm going to grab my drink.
I just got it.
Well, I'm going to grab my drink since you grabbed yours.
Sure. Howdy ho. Share. Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm sharing
Sorry, we're a little late.
public. We are on next share. I'm sorry. Hello. Share. Group the ears. Okay, I shared everything,
Okay.
but I missed everybody's comments.
Hello.
Let's see. Hi everyone. Hey oh hi. Hey guys. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, we are running a little late. I've been moving kind of slow today. And I decided to shave my face, and I was done and getting dressed. And Lisa's like, it's 3 o'clock. I was like, oh, I'm not ready. So I do apologize. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Today
Happy
is
Mother's
Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms and or dads who are pulling double duty and moms who are just pulling double duty. Happy to all of you. What's happening? So we are going over brand new surveys that were presented to us. Well, not just to us, Disney and Universal. Well, Universal sent out a previous one. Universal sent out a new one 2 days ago to all of its guests via email. This one is kind of weird, as I posted on social media.
It's like a weird glare in my glasses.
Oh, I don't know. And Disney then jumped on board with this, and they gave a very long survey. Like, there was points where I got the survey first thing in the morning, and I'm like, I'm not reading all of this, But now I've read it. It's very long, so bear with us. We're going to go over everything and give our opinions on these new surveys. But in other news, which you probably already know, Shanghai Disney is opening up in a few short days.
Woo woo.
So that's exciting.
Any news on Hong Kong?
No, nothing on Hong Kong yet. I do
Although
feel they will be the next ones to open.
I do remember reading though that out of China, like the city of Shanghai, they started putting in the stay-at-home orders for their people before it really got to them. So
Yeah.
I can see why Shanghai is opening up before Hong Kong because they were
They've
proactive.
They've been closed since January.
No, I know, but I mean
January,
between
that's
the
a long
two
time.
Chinese parks,
Yeah.
the city of Shanghai, from what I heard, was a lot more proactive regarding coronavirus in comparison to other parts of China.
So, as you know, Shanghai started opening up a little bit early or earlier with their downtown Disney shopping. So, hence what we are doing first here in World, meaning Disney World in Florida, because Disney Springs is opening up May 20th.
But it's only
Third parties.
third party.
So it's not the Disney shops, not World of Disney. You're getting, and you're not even guaranteed because I don't know.
Business can make their own decision as to whether or not they actually want to open on the 20th.
Exactly. So you might have a few restaurants like Blaze and STK. I think STK actually confirmed they are opening up the 20th.
I think the fancier dining places will remain closed. Like, I don't think like the Boathouse and Paddlefish, I don't think they're going to open right away.
And they're going to open at 25%. So I don't know what that is. With Disney Springs as well. What?
Just a thought. If Boathouse or Paddlefish do open, since our anniversary dinner got canceled for Saturday, we could have a late anniversary dinner if one of those places opens.
If you can get in the 25%.
I think we could.
Now, they are doing limited capacity at Disney Springs, which I don't understand what that capacity will be because no one knows what the capacity is at Disney Springs.
Is it gonna be like one garage full?
It's not like
I don't know.
It's not like when you go in the parks and you scan your band and they can
Yeah,
count that many because you have so many people parking. So you could count your garages but then what about the Ubers that would drop you off, the buses that would drop you off?
Yeah.
Now, buses aren't going to be
And then you even
running.
have the ground parking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be.
So nobody knows what that number really is and what the limited capacity is. I'm not sure about that.
Someone said it will just be local, so possibly we'll get in. That's what I'm thinking too. That's why I said I think we could get in because I think because the parks aren't open, like I think the fact that Disney Springs is opening, it's still just gonna be more the locals going there.
Yeah,
Someone
maybe.
said, do we think parks will open by the fall? God, I hope so.
I know that a couple days ago, I think 2 days ago, Disney released a statement that they have canceled all reservations till July 1st. So there goes all your June, as you were hoping for your birthday on June 11th
Not
to go to
happening.
Disney. It's not going to happen now since they moved everything to July 1st.
But I want to go to Animal Kingdom.
Well, we're not
Yes,
going
we'll go
to
to
Disney.
the beach again.
Yeah, right. We did do that. We were supposed to do this video
Friday
night, and we did a last-minute beach trip to surprise my buddy from Penn to Flow on his birthday. So let me just quickly tell you how the beaches were going in case like you want to go to the beach, and then we'll go into these surveys. So the beach, pretty much how it is well, we went to the Anna Maria Beach, which is in Bredington.
Hey, thanks. That's awesome, Donna.
What's that?
She shares my birthday.
Oh, nice. It's in Bredington, Florida. So that's like towards like Sarasota area. So pretty much what was happening, they didn't open every single parking lot that I noticed on the beach.
No, because there were a bunch that they had blocked off.
So it was like every other one you could park at. Now, when you could park, the beach patrol, I guess I would call them.
2-hour parking.
They would give you a ticket and you had 2-hour parking. That's it. If you were over 2 hours, bam, $250 fine.
But they did give you, like, so I think we got to the park, because we were at one beach, and, like, that beach was, like, not crowded at all. The water was great, but there was so much seaweed, and we were all kind of getting annoyed with the amount of seaweed. So we drove, like 6 to 10 miles down the road to this other beach. And that one, I don't want to say it was packed, but the parking lot was packed because they only had a limited number of parking lots open. And so I think we got to that one, around 2:20?
I will say.
And they gave us a time period from 2:45 to 4:45. So they did give you that, like, little bit of grace period between when you actually got to the parking lot where you got your time ticket. They gave you time to find a parking spot to get set up on the beach. So they did give you that, like, 15 to 20 extra minutes.
I will say, even though the beach was crowded, everybody did a good job, and the beach patrol didn't have to maneuver in such a way and keep people 6 feet apart. People were doing that on their own, where they were putting up their tents. Everybody did a great job. Nobody was close or on top of each other.
Even when we got there, we were trying to look for a more open space so we could set up our stuff. And then even as people came, well, there was that one group, but regardless. But for the most part, people were like, okay, that group's there. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll go about this distance over here. So everyone was still respectful
of the space.
So
that's going on with that. And there was some shops open that you didn't require to have a mask in that area. We brought ours with because we didn't know. And some of the restaurants were open at 25%. So that's what you can kind of expect from the beach.
Donut place.
Oh yeah, the donut place was awesome.
We still have 3 donuts to eat.
Yeah, 3 donuts. Amazing.
That sriracha one was so.
Oh yeah, they had a sriracha donut.
And we were all curious as to what it would taste like, so we bought one for the 4 of us to share. And I don't know
Each just get a bite.
I don't know why they thought
sriracha and peanut butter.
And peanuts. It wasn't even peanut butter, it was peanuts.
No, it was peanut butter icing with peanuts and then sriracha drizzle.
I don't know how they
that
thought
was the worst in the world.
And of course, that was like the last donut we had, so it was like that taste was stuck in our mouth.
Because I like sriracha and I like peanut butter, but that was
together
was-
does not work.
that was a terrible
It
combination.
almost tasted like really bad Chinese food.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I saw some people had a little bit of questions already.
Well, some
Maybe-
people were just comments. So Cody said in regards to Disney Springs, he's thinking one entrance in and one entrance out, no Uber drop-offs, reservation only for restaurants. I think they'll have Uber drop-offs, but you may be right with the one entrance. Like they may drop off, but those people may need to walk to whatever that one entrance is, if that's the way they do it.
And Disney Springs did announce that it is mandatory for both cast members and guests to wear a mask. And a lot of people are asking, when do you start to wear the mask? At what point? And I think when you're parking in the garage and you have to go through that little tunnel, there's 2 cast member security guards that are right there. I think that will be where you have to put on your face mask.
I don't know.
I would think.
Connor said, first Jackie said that she thinks June will be a retraining month for cast members. I could see that.
Yep.
And Connor put, I'm supposed to be going to Orlando for Universal and Disney parks. What are your thoughts on me getting into the parks or safety concerns? When are you going?
When are you going? That's the thing. Because I don't know when Universal is going to open. They said they were closed till the end of May 31st. They didn't give another announcement. Not like Disney
Why can't
did.
May be the retraining month and they open up
Well,
for my birthday?
they maybe don't think that it's going in the fall. Sorry. Okay, they're going in the fall.
Oh, I guess because you already asked, will the parks open in the fall? I should have figured that out.
Yeah, we should have figured that.
I don't know. This whole thing is so. I don't know.
I think that's a hard question to answer right now.
So I think of regardless when it opens, I think the first few weeks it's gonna feel more like a locals park. That's just my vision. I think is what's gonna happen.
And with that as well, I think for the safety concerns, what they're implementing, with the head checks and everything like that. I think this is like the training, or just not the training, but to work out the kinks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To see what works, what doesn't. Do we need to go above and beyond a little bit more? So these first couple weeks when the park opens, I would even go as to say maybe 2 months. Maybe till August to see if they're gonna tweak some things or.
And I think too,
I don't know.
Let's say that the parks open up July 1st. Let's say that that becomes reality. They open up July 1st and they don't have to reclose. Like, let's say there are kinks, but they're able to figure it out without having to close the parks again. I still think that for the remainder of the year, I don't think it's going to be quite as busy as what it has been. I mean, even with the reduced capacity, only because my thinking is a lot of people have canceled their trips, regardless of what time of year for this year. I think because of this fear of, is the coronavirus really, under control at that point? 2, I think people are looking at it as, if the parks reopen, is everything going to be open? So is it worth my money to still go? Like, I don't think it's going to be quite as busy. I think you'll be able to get in. I definitely think if you purchase tickets and if you've made reservations, they're going to work with you to make sure you get in the park. We've heard rumors that pass holders, we're gonna have to reserve the dates we want to go. So I think that's how they're gonna try to combat the people coming down versus the locals that are trying to get in to try to make it fair. I don't think there's gonna be an issue with you getting in.
Yeah, I don't think so.
As long as the parks are open.
Yeah, which I see by that time they will be.
Someone said, why won't they open Disneyland too? We don't know when the parks are opening, but from what we heard is the guy that pretty much is in charge of Disneyland, what did he say? That he doesn't plan on reopening the park till there's a vaccine?
No, that was the governor.
Oh, that was the governor of California.
The governor of California. He said he doesn't, at that time, that was a week ago, he said he's not in a rush until there's a vaccine to open everything. Now, California doesn't need to survive from Disneyland. They can survive as a state without Disneyland. As we said in the last one, Florida cannot. We rely so much on tourism and everything else.
Central Florida, regardless of if it's Disney or one of the other parks or just our tourist destinations in general, they're gonna try as safely as they can to reopen these areas because that's what brings in the money.
You know what's interesting too, real quick? I just had a thought in my head because it's a possibility that Disney World, they throw out these numbers of capacity and possibly, 25%, 50% into phase one. If they decide to go 25%, just to take the precaution, things like that, let's just see how that starts. I automatically always think in my head, John Taffer. And even though he's a bar business guy, but what does he always say? He always says in almost every episode that at 25%, you're not making money. You are losing money this whole time. Or you're just breaking even. So it comes to that because, I'm trying to think on Disney as in the business side. You know what I mean? Because they have to, even though this hurt them, obviously, this hurt every theme park, money-wise.
A lot of businesses.
A lot of businesses. So it's like, I don't know, like what they would need to do. So would they go 50%? Even though people would say, no, that's too many, but the business side is like, we're trying to.
Would it be 35?
Maybe, I don't know. So you got to figure like the guest and your business.
Cindy,
so you don't go under.
Cindy asked a question. She said, as a pass holder, will you get mad if you want to reserve a day and can't get it? I'm just going to say this. I am a little selfish. So when Tony first told me there was a possibility that we would have to reserve our days, right away I kind of got defensive and I said, if I'm paying to be a pass holder and I'm paying to not have any blackout dates, why should I have to reserve a day to go? I should just be able to go when I want to go. Because that's me being selfish and not having been able to go to Disney since March. But, I understand why they're doing it. I think for me, I'm going to get over the fact that I'm going to have to reserve a day. But yeah, I think it's going to be frustrating too if I'm trying to reserve a day and they're saying that I can't. Because as a local, we don't always plan ahead what we're going to do, when we're going to go. Sometimes it's spur of the moment. So it is, like, that is a little bit, okay, well, if they say I can't go, like, I'm not a vacationer, so I'm not planning this in advance. Like, I'm just used to being able to just go.
So what I've read in the new portion of Shanghai, because they talked about their pass holders. Of course, Disney's going to talk about the pass holders because, like she said, we pay for, things. All of us do, or, those who are pass holders. They said, from what I understood, so they're doing 25%. Okay, of their capacity because that's the government law there. They said 25%. So Shanghai Disneyland doesn't get to up that or anything. That's their guideline. Yeah. They have to do 25%. So it looked like 25%. I think they roughly said about 30,000 people.
Shanghai?
Yeah, roughly. So I think they said to try to accommodate the pass holders, they set aside, I think it was 10,000 tickets a day. Well, not tickets, but 10,000 spaces a day that were strictly for pass holders. So that other 20,000 was for
the
vacationers or whatever. I think that's how they did. And I was like, well, that's okay because you have that, I don't know. They got to play with it and they'll figure that out. I'm not worried about it too much.
Canadian Sky, my worry, will be flying from UK with tickets, but then be told that it's at capacity and you can't enter.
No, what they're going to do, see, this is why I'm going to keep referring to Shanghai, because since they're the first park that is opening, keep your eye on Shanghai, because if this works, it's coming here to the States. What they do in Shanghai, if it works, all of that is coming here. So what they will do in Shanghai, so imagine they'll do it here, there'll be no more walk-up tickets to purchase. No,
you have to purchase.
You have to purchase in advance, and you have to select your days of purchase. Sort of like, how Disney would do the, kind of like the airline prices, a little bit like some days are a little cheaper, some days are high. You pick your days. But I think they might get rid of that fluctuating high, low, high, low.
I think they
maybe.
will at first, just for the fact that this is
It
all
might be just a
reopening.
straight 120, let's say $125, $120. I don't see us getting a discount right away because I think they're gonna want to see first, you know,
Yeah.
because Shanghai, they're giving no discounts on ticket prices because they were sold out already, all the days. Now they said if we see a decline in like say 2 months, people aren't showing up, then we might adjust to a ticket reduction.
All right.
And that could be the thing there.
It's not that I don't want to answer everyone's questions, but
Yeah, let's do the survey and then we'll come back to the questions. Okay, let's do the surveys. So we're gonna go into Universal first because they did a first one a while back and they sent a new one. These are very weird. So we're gonna start with Universal Orlando survey and then we'll go right into Disney survey.
Universal.
Yes.
Which of the following symptoms would you consider to be a concerning indicator that someone might have the coronavirus disease?
These were
There are 18,
18 different symptoms that you could check off.
including hallucinations, difficulty breathing, blurred vision, sneezing, loss of smell, sore throat, loss of appetite, itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, dry cough, diarrhea, loss of taste, wet, phlegmy cough, aches and pains, fever, rash, headache, other. Some of these I'm just not quite sure how they're gonna know if someone has. Like if someone has diarrhea, like,
I thought this was a weird question.
well, are you gonna follow them to the bathroom each time they go? Like, how are you gonna know if they have it?
Yeah, like that's a concern.
Loss of smell, unless they tell you that they can't smell anything, how are you gonna know?
How are you gonna know?
Like, some of these, it's loss of taste, too. Like, unless someone, like, deliberately says, like, I can't taste this, I can't smell this, I don't know how you're gonna do, yeah. And some of them, maybe I haven't been keeping up with the coronavirus, but I don't remember hearing that hallucinations was a symptom.
It's not. I think they're just throwing random stuff out there. Like all these different, like, are you going to be put off if somebody has this? And what do they say if it'd be a concern of the virus or something if they have this?
That would be a concerning indicator that someone might have the coronavirus. But again, like, how are you going to know? And like, they're not going to make it public. Attention all guests. This person here with the red shirt, the black hat, you know, all this, he has an itchy, runny nose. Like, they're not going to make it known. So like, as another guest, how am I going to know that that person has any of these symptoms? I mean, yeah, some of them, if you hear it, the sneezing, the dry cough, but like the wet phlegmy cough, like you can hear that stuff, but like if I'm not around that person, I'm not going to know.
And also, allergy seasons, you know, for people who have allergies, you have to take that in, you know, effect, you know. So, that's kind of like, I don't know, because most of the time, I always say, if you are sick like that, don't go to the park, or you shouldn't go to the park. Not telling people what to do.
People are saying with the hallucinations that it's not necessarily a coronavirus symptom, but people who get really high fevers.
Oh yeah, they start to hallucinate.
Yeah, okay.
But you know, if you have a really high fever and you're hallucinating, and they do the head scan, they're probably not going to let you in anyways because you're probably going to reach that temperature.
Yeah, so
they're not going to let you in anyways. Which I believe Universal, I think, is going to keep it at 100.4. I think that is their cutoff to say no. 100.4. In Shanghai, it's 99.4. That's their cutoff. So, if you would have these hallucination fever, you're going to probably be over the 100 degrees, I would imagine.
So you're probably not going to be allowed.
You're probably not going to be in there anyways.
You wouldn't want to hit a theme park if you were that unwell anyway. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm
too.
thinking.
Like,
You wouldn't want to.
Even like before this whole thing went down, like not so much with my allergies, but like if I would have yeah, I would want to go, but like after being like even just being out for a little bit, like let's say an hour, it's like you start to get tired. I don't want to be out. I want to go back home and be in my bed. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I thought that was a very interesting question. Like, it was an appropriate question, but the different listings that they had, I was just like snickering, like laughing to myself. Like, yes, diarrhea is a really bad concern because that person smells bad. but it's not about the virus, but it concerns me.
Yeah.
Like, it's very weird.
This is for Universal.
This is Universal. This is Universal survey. This is the Universal.
All right.
Let's go to the next one. The questions are
How
weird.
effective do you feel the following methods are at detecting people who may currently have or have had the coronavirus disease? Okay. And your options of answering are very effective, effective, somewhat ineffective, or ineffective. I hate those.
Yeah.
Temperature checks using a thermal scanner. Visual checks to identify symptoms such as coughing or sneezing. Oops. Rapid COVID-19 antibody tests using a finger prick sample.
I don't think
Contact tracing with cellular phone GPS data to track potential exposures. Okay.
So go ahead. Yeah.
So as far as the temperature checks, they've been talking about this for a while. I mean, that's obviously like, okay, if you're...
This is the route we're going to go.
Yeah,
it is going to be a temperature check.
Your fever is above 100.4, whatever the indicator is, you can't go in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I feel that's pretty effective,
Yeah,
regardless of if this is a coronavirus or some other illness, you know?
No, I still think if you reach a high temperature and you're not sick just because of the heat, I think they might put you aside, just wait a minute and retake a temperature. I kind of feel that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be on the first temperature, you're gone, because it is Florida. There is heat. Your body temperature will rise. So I still think it's going to be 2 checks if you strike the first one.
The next one, the visual checks to identify symptoms such as coughing or sneezing. This is where I'm kind of like, again, if we're in allergy season, I don't necessarily cough a lot when my allergies act up, but I'm sneezing. My nose is running.
Yeah.
But I'm not carrying like...
I don't think that
virus, but
visual check is gonna...
Because, and then you also have those people
go.
that, what if just something randomly tickled your nose right then and there and you sneezed? Now they're not gonna let you in because you sneezed once?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get what they're going for, but like...
I don't see it taking place, to be honest with you. There's too many variables about it. You know.
Now, the rapid COVID-19 antibody test. Well, that obviously could be effective. My question, though, is how rapid are these tests? Like, how quick are they getting the answer?
Well, right now, we had to do... I'll tell you about our test.
Well, I didn't get mine. Mine was Tuesday.
Okay, I had my COVID test. I had to take mine on Friday. I'm fine. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, it's just required at our
job, at our hospital. Every employee
now has to get tested.
It has to be a mandatory test. So we're doing it by spit. So I have this little cup that they give me, and I have to spit like that much into a cup. Fill that up. That's hard to do. You look at that line, you're like, oh, that's easy. No, this is hard. Anyways.
And you're not allowed to eat or drink anything a half hour before you go take this test. So, like, you're dry, and now they want you to spit.
Exactly. So, it was 48 hours. They were going to get it. 48 to 72 hours.
3 to 5 business days is what.
But now
it's 2 weeks.
It's a week to 2 weeks.
1 to 2 weeks.
And I wanted to say to this lady, I really did, but I didn't. I was going to ask when she told me, all right, the test results are going to be a week to 2 weeks, 7 to 14 days. And I really wanted to say to her, what's the point of this test then? Because let's say I'm COVID right now. By the time we get the test results back, I could be fine and then not have it anymore. Or whatever it is. But I didn't ask, whatever. But because she said they are so overwhelmed, they're not stocked with the employees to do these results, to get them fast enough.
Within the 3 to 5 days.
So I think this is going to take too long. This isn't going to be a 15 minute.
And I think the reason we're backed up is, along with every employee having to be tested, now every patient coming in has to be tested. And if they're not showing any symptoms, they're getting the saliva test.
Exactly.
If they're showing symptoms, then they get the swab that gets shoved up their nose and all that nasty, fun stuff. But again, like now Universal's talking about doing a finger prick, so it kind of reminds me of like a blood glucose level test.
I would imagine that, just
the finger,
and then it comes out on a little tab.
But like, I mean, is it something that can be read right away? Because if that's the case, well then fine, whatever. That could be really effective. as long as the test is effective.
But do you see Universal being like, okay, let me prick your finger? Do you really see a theme park doing this though, going this route? Should they be going this route?
I don't know, Tony. Someone said any
don't
ideas
know.
when UK will be allowed back in Florida. I thought when Trump put in the travel bans that England was like the only European country that could still travel to and from the US. Now, Florida though was on a lockdown where no one was allowed in.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
I have to look that up on Florida, because I think you can in the U.S., but I'm not sure about Florida coming in. I'm not entirely sure on that. We'll have to get back to you on that. So the pricking of the finger, I really don't.
I don't know.
I don't think.
This next
know.
one, the contact tracing with cellular phone GPS data to track potential exposures. I don't like the idea that they're going to be tracking me.
No.
I mean, obviously, if I tested positive, okay, I can understand why they would want to track because they need to make sure that anybody I've come in contact with. But, like, if you've let me in the park, how do you know I didn't get it from someone else that you let in the park? Like, I just feel like if you're allowing me in the park, then don't track me. Like, if you are that concerned that I might be exposing something to someone, then you shouldn't have let me in. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. That one's a little weird, too. I don't know. I don't know how to really answer for that one. I get it. I get where they're coming from. But, because I know in Shanghai, they're doing not a tracking system. They have to show something on their phone or have a badge or something like that that indicates that they were checked, that they were okay. Like safe. I don't know. They have to show that at Disneyland in Shanghai.
Oh, and just going back to the whole England thing, a bunch of people were saying the UK ban came out a couple of weeks after the rest of the countries. I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next part of that survey.
Oh, Penda Flo just asked a really good question. Like, if you're park hopping, so if I get my finger pricked at Magic Kingdom and then I park hop over to Hollywood Studios, do I have to get pricked again? Well, right now we're talking about Universal, but okay,
No, but
let's say
still...
like Universal Studios 2 Islands of Adventure. Like, yeah, are they gonna prick me again? Or am I gonna or are they gonna give you a slip? Kind of like if you park hop and you've driven, you just show like the parking people you already paid for parking. Like,
no, this is what I think they should do. This is my opinion because we do this at our work, at the hospital. Okay? Now, you don't really partake in it because you don't leave the hospital as much as I do.
if I do, it's just because I go outside to eat and then I have to.
So when you enter the hospital, I think the parks should do this. This is what I'm getting at. So I'm giving the example of our job. So when
someone just brought up the Q code.
So when we walk into our job, we have to get scanned, the head test. And once that passes, they'll say, you're okay. Now you have the option to leave or to go about your business, which Lisa does. So anytime she leaves the hospital and wants to go back in, like she said, to go outside to eat, when she goes back in, she has to get scanned again. However, I skip that. I have what the hospital will call pretty much a fast pass to get back into the hospital without getting my head checked.
It's only good for that day.
Only good for the day. So this is how I do it. So they check me. They say, okay, you're good. They have a little barcode, like scan on their desk, and you hover your phone over it on the camera, and up pops
like a URL link.
Yeah. So
and
you just click on that.
Pretty much it just shows that you've gotten your temperature checked already that day.
So it'll
good.
say May 10th. It'll say your name because it recognizes from your phone, whatever your phone link is. So it'll say Tony, May 10th, and it'll give a color blue indicator, and it'll say not fast pass, but whatever it says to go back to the hospital. So I screenshot that. So when I walk back into the hospital and they're about to head check me, I show them my phone that shows the color and the indicator, and they say, okay, you're good. And then I go about my business.
At the hospital, they change the color.
So they know.
So that they know if you actually got your head checked that day.
So I think that's how they should do it if you're going to park hopper. Or, park to park, whether at Universal, park hop at Disney. I think that when you do your initial, so you go to Magic Kingdom the first day, you should be able to do this barcode thing that I do that has a color indicator just for that day, not multiple days, just one day. Just do a little screenshot and okay, let's go to Animal Kingdom. and I should just be able to show
You
that
already
color.
tested
I
me.
already tested. Now let me just do my bag check and
scan my magic band and go
yeah,
in.
and go in. Just go through the metal detector.
Okay.
I think that should bypass that line. That's my opinion. I think that's how they should do it because it works really well for our hospital.
This next Universal survey question. If Universal reopens on August 1st of this year, which makes me think now that they're not planning on opening till August.
Hold on. Now, before you continue with that, not everybody got the same survey. Universal sent out different surveys. I think I gave you one with a different scenario. One was August 1st, and I went to Twitter to see if other people got different dates. Some got December 1st.
Oh, so they
literally changed the date. So this is the one that I got, which was the August.
So if
date.
Universal reopens on August 1st of this year, when would you be most likely to visit? And you can pick a year and a month. And then it says, and regardless of when you are actually able to visit, what is the earliest date you would feel comfortable visiting the theme park? So let's say Universal opens August 1st. Your options are immediately on August 1st, at least a week after opening, at least 2 weeks after, at least a month after, at least 2 months after, at least 3 months after, or at least 6 months after.
So let's ask you guys too while we answer this. So let's say both Disney, Universal, theme parks. Let's just say theme parks in general. July 1st. Let's just say we'll use that. July
Michelle
1st.
Just said her survey from Universal said June 1st. So okay.
So we'll just say July 1st. Let's just make it easy for every theme park. How quick would you be willing to go? That's pretty much what they're asking. Would you go right away? Would you wait a couple weeks? Would you wait a couple months? I feel for me,
If I'm off work that day, I'm going.
I would go. Why? Because we live close to the parks. Now, Universal's a little farther from us. It's about 45 minutes for us to get to. Disney's about 15 minutes. So Disney, I'd go that day if I was off because, well, I'm only 15 minutes away. I'll go down, check it out, and I'll go to the park. Universal, 45 minutes? Okay, I'll go. Now, if Disney was 2 hours from me, I'd probably be like, I'll hold off. Because I don't know if I want to drive the 2 hours to probably not even get in and do this. But
I'm going.
Being that we live so close, I see us going sooner than later, because it's in our distance, it's close enough for us to go.
And I've paid money to be there.
Yeah, and as other people who may be paying for a vacation, what does a vacation cost these days? $3,000 to $6,000 a week. Depending on your size of family and what you want to do, you may want to second guess that. You may say, I'm going to hold off a couple months because I want to see how it plays out.
Yeah, which I understand.
Which I get.
But as someone that lives close by, if I'm off work, I'm at that park.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you right there. I'm going to go. If they're saying they feel it's safe to reopen, I'm going. I mean, I went to the beach. They felt it was safe to reopen the beaches. We went to the beach.
Yeah. So pretty much how I usually answer that is, if you feel it's safe to go, then go. If you feel it's not safe to go, then don't go. And that is no right or wrong answer. I feel everybody is right. You know what I feel everybody is right.
Because this is so new, no one actually knows.
Nobody knows. This whole epidemic, everything, this is new to us. It's a new virus, a new disease. So there's no wrong answer. Everybody is right, whether you want to stay in and protect yourself or you feel it's safe and you want to go out. I understand both parts of it.
I'm just that person that if the people running it and the state government, the local governments, if they feel it's safe for these parks to reopen, I'm going to trust their judgment and
because
I'm going to venture out.
They're going to have thousands and thousands of people there, even at 25%. They're liable in a sense for them. So they want to be very protective. So
yeah.
Although I still think that they're going to make you sign a waiver that you cannot blame them that in case you get sick.
Yeah, I definitely think
they're going to make you sign a waiver.
I think whether it's a matter of when you're reserving your dates to go, it'll be in those terms and conditions. So I think, and I'm guilty.
And it'll be like an electronic.
But I'm guilty of those things too, where I don't read them. I just go, yep, I agree and accept. I think that's where they're going to put it.
In that fine line.
Yeah,
I think that's how the parks are going to protect themselves.
Because I
so they
think
don't
it's
get
also
sued.
going to move things faster too, because they don't want to hand you a paper as you're trying to enter the park. Because now they even have a longer line. You have your line for your security, you have your line to check in. Oh, and now you need to sign this waiver. I think
That's
that's
going
the
to be your
quickest way to
online.
do it. Put it in the terms and conditions
So
of going.
make sure when you do that, I want to see if I'm right. So hopefully somebody will let me know whenever they book if there is some sort of in that little detail when they're agreeing to everything online for purchasing, if there's a waiver that the theme park that of their choosing they go to is not to blame if they would get sick or
Celeste said,
something.
once the parks reopen, do you think visitors from outer state will have to quarantine for 2 weeks once they get back home? I think that's going to depend on what state you live in and what your state regulates.
Yeah, every state's a little bit different, so it's gonna go by that. I don't know. You'd have to keep up on your state and see how they will be doing.
I mean, I feel like, it's just like for us, like if we would have left, it wasn't necessarily all 50 states. So when this first thing started opening, like let's say we went with the B bunch to Colorado, I wouldn't have had to quarantine for 2 weeks after that. But if I would have gone to New York or what was it, Oregon, Washington, California,
yeah, something like those
and
big
when I came back, then
places.
I would have had to quarantine for 2 weeks because they were basing it off of like the hot spots.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just going to depend on what your state feels Florida is. So if your state feels Florida is a hot spot, then yeah, you may have to quarantine for 2 weeks afterwards. But if your state feels that Florida has things under control,
they may
say you're safe to travel there, come back and go back to work, no problem. So
yeah, but if you get sick, leave your work, obviously no, and your job may say, hey, we want you to quarantine. This is really going to depend on your state and your place of work.
Yeah.
If you would to get sick.
So okay.
It depends.
I'm gonna move on to the next one. For the time being, Islands of Adventure has reopened.
This is a scenario.
Yeah, sorry, scenario. For the time being, Islands of Adventure has reopened, but Universal Studios is closed. You may notice it is less crowded than usual, as Universal has moderately limited attendance to 50% of its capacity. All rides are open and operating as usual, which means that Hagrid is probably breaking down still 3 to 5 times a day.
At least.
Team members sanitize ride vehicles between each cycle. Apart from enhanced health and safety initiatives throughout the park you know and love is here for you to enjoy. The cost of admission is discounted to approximately 25% off the usual price before COVID-19. Annual passes continue to be honored. How likely or unlikely will you be to visit Universal in this hypothetical scenario? Very likely, somewhat unlikely, unlikely, very unlikely. Again, if a park is open, even if it means only one of the parks is open, if I'm off work and I can get in, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm gonna go.
And we're saying that as locals. Now, somebody who lives out of state and for a vacation may rethink this. And might go at a later date.
And I would get it. If I wasn't a pass holder, I think if I wasn't a pass holder, but I was just doing a day trip, I would still go because they at least have one park open. All the rides are open. I could still do a full day at that park. But if I'm coming out of state from, for vacation, I don't think I would come down right away. Because if I'm spending money to go to Universal or Disney, I want to get my money's worth, and even if they are discounting the tickets, like I want, especially those people that feel like this is their once in a lifetime to be able to come down to like do one of these parks. Yeah, I want to be able to experience it all. So then I would hold off. But as a local, as a pass holder, if it's open and it's just the one park and I can get in, I'm going to go.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. So that's something you have to think for yourselves, especially if you're out of state. What would feel best for you and your family to do for that? Because that's a bit of a tricky question. As Lisa said, I don't know if I would want to. If we still lived in Philadelphia and we were going to come down and our things got canceled for a June, and it's going to be July they're open, and she said, well, why don't we move it to October or something? Well, knowing that I know, is that really in our best interest, money-wise, you know, and
Then
to
I
do
wouldn't.
that.
I would hold off until they reopen the
I
rest of the parks. But again, as a local, I can still go and spend a day.
You know
Because
what
I don't ever, I actually, as a local, I don't typically spend an entire day at the park. So I'll go, I'll ride what I want to ride, I'll see what I want to see, and I leave. But that's also because I can go anytime I want. So if I don't get to ride something that day, I know that the next day I'm off, I can go and.
You know what I would honestly do? If we lived in Philadelphia and we got this survey, this and that, and we had to think about it, say we had a trip planned and canceled and we were gonna try to reschedule for a later date this year, I would probably say, and let's say it was Disney, I probably would say, you know what, let's just go next year because of all the anniversary dates for the 50th and everything like that. It gives it time, you know, but everybody's a little different. But I think that's how I would probably handle it. Be like, let's just hold off the rest of this year. They're going to have the 50th, so they're going to do some sort of party. This gives enough time to work out any kinks and do what they need to do. And maybe, you know, they'll be back at 100% or 80%.
But where I live right now, I'll go.
Exactly. That's just my thinking. You know, everybody's different and nobody's wrong, nobody's right. Well, everybody's right, nobody's wrong. That's what I meant to say. It's how you feel.
Okay. This is another hypothetical scenario.
They have one more scenario.
For the time being, Islands of Adventure has reopened, but Universal Studios is closed. You may notice the park is not completely filled with guests, as Universal has slightly limited attendance to 75% of its capacity. All rides are open and operating as usual. Team members sanitize ride vehicles between each cycle. In addition to enhanced health and safety initiatives throughout the park, you can expect some special VIP experiences, including exclusive behind-the-scenes access, insider information, lunch, and some personalized treats. The cost of admission has increased to approximately double the usual price before COVID-19. Annual passes would not be honored for this special VIP day.
So this is the kind of weird thing.
So I'm looking at this as like kind of like an after party type of thing. So as a VIP day, I would look at it almost like a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. But instead of it just being for a couple hours in the evening, this is an all-day event. I'm going to look at it as, is it worth my money to go? I can ride these rides anytime I want as a pass holder. So if I just don't go that day, it's not going to bother me. However, I'm not going to get the insider scoops, the behind the scenes access, all that. But in general, I'm saving money. So
that's your thought process. My first thought process for that was thinking about the working class. People are in such hardship right now, have lost their jobs because of this COVID. Money is such a problem. And now Universal would want to double $200 and some a ticket?
But they're talking about it for one day, a VIP day.
Still.
Yeah, and I understand what you're getting at, but it's not like they're saying like
double.
I don't know who all is going to be able to afford it, but I'm not as upset because they're just talking about a day. They're talking about it's a VIP day. So therefore your annual, it's just like their Halloween Horror Nights. Our pass does not include the Halloween Horror Nights ticket. We have to pay extra to go and participate in that. So if I don't pay, I just can't be inside Universal Studios from those certain hours in the evening.
Yeah, so let me take a $150 ticket that would be for the VIP and now let me charge you $300? That's what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? And these hardships of times. If VIP, this special access, was an average of $150 a person a day, now it's $300 a person a day?
Sophie also brought up a good point.
Just a scenario. This is hypothetical.
Double is crazy, especially at 75% capacity. And that's, I think, where I have an issue is I'm paying double and I'm still going to have to wait over an hour in line to get on rides. Because although you've reduced capacity from 100%, it's still 75%.
For that double, that better include a lot more. Like, it better include my fast passing and everything else.
It's a hypothetical scenario.
That's hypothetical.
And it's talking about a VIP day. not, hey, when we open up, we're gonna double the prices for for all tickets every day moving forward. They're talking about a VIP day, and I think why Universal is putting that out is they're already thinking, how are we gonna recoup some of this money that we lost?
And I get that. They're a
And there
business.
are still going to be those people that can afford to go and that are going to be like, hey, I can go. I'm going to treat myself to a VIP access day. And yeah, there are going to be people that would probably go along with it. I myself, though, just because I am a pass holder and yeah, I don't necessarily get the behind the scenes scoops, but I don't need to pay extra just to have the park to myself.
No.
Especially, well, and I wouldn't have it to myself. I'd have it with 75% of normal capacity.
I don't know. My main focus is when I read and I kept seeing double price. And I was like, double? In this situation in the world right now, double?
Yeah, again, VIP at 75% is not fun. Way too busy. I mean, it's kind of how we felt
When
this
you go
last
to
time
the-
when we went to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. I mean, Disney oversold all those party nights, and it really wasn't fun.
No.
I didn't enjoy it at all. I enjoyed...
Even the Universal Pass holder event, the second one we went to.
It was still better than a typical
But it was
Universal
busier.
day, but it was busier than the first time they did it.
Yeah, so it's like we didn't get to do as much as we did the first time because it definitely was filling
Well,
up.
and we also had to work the next day.
Yeah.
So we couldn't stay as late.
But still, that didn't help. But I don't know. So that was Universal, or is there more Universal? I think we're on Disney.
No, we're on to Disney.
Okay, now we're on Disney's survey. These are long. I'm putting them out there. Long. So process this. I think it was only 4 questions, something like that.
They're long.
But they're long questions. But 4 questions, 4 survey questions.
So, hear me out. Stay with me because they are long.
Lisa's gonna read to you. This is a little story time. They are long.
Okay. So, assuming the following.
I'm gonna get a little comfortable. I got time. Let's get a little comfortable.
Stay-at-home restrictions have been lifted and you are able to travel. No restrictions in Central Florida prevent you from traveling to the area. Travel providers and Central Florida attractions, including the Walt Disney World Resort, will have implemented a new set of health and safety measures, such as all employees and customers wearing face coverings, enhanced disinfecting and cleaning of facilities, limiting capacity and density of large gatherings, etc. What, if anything, would make you consider canceling your Walt Disney World Resort hotel reservation for June? Please select all that apply. Hear me out.
This gets long. Oh, yeah.
Find a better deal at an alternate destination. My currently booked Walt Disney World Resort hotel is not open, and I have to move to a comparable Walt Disney World Resort hotel. There are some restrictions in my home area, but they do not prevent travel. There are some restrictions in Central Florida, but they do not prevent my visitation. The pace of new infections in Central Florida significantly increases or does not improve. The pace of new infections in the area where I live significantly increases or does not improve. The pace of new infections in an alternate leisure destination significantly improves. No Central Florida theme parks are open. Only some Central Florida theme parks are open. Central Florida attractions require an advance reservation. Select rides, shows, or other entertainment experiences within theme parks are not available. Select rides, shows, or other entertainment experiences outside of theme parks are not available. Dining options or bars are limited. Shopping options are limited. Florida beaches are closed or have limited availability. New passenger requirements for flying are too cumbersome. The mandatory safety precautions visitors must take to experience Central Florida attractions are too cumbersome. Other, please specify, or nothing would make me consider canceling.
Did you get all that?
I don't even remember what the question was.
That was very long.
What, if anything, would make you consider canceling your Walt Disney World Resort hotel reservation
In
for
June.
June? Well, if the parks aren't open, I'm canceling. I'll tell you right that now. If I'm paying money to stay at a Walt Disney World Resort hotel, I better be able to go to the theme parks. And if they're not open, I'm not going.
Especially if we're not going to have a possible July date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would make me cancel if I, lived outstate. I think what a lot of people will probably feel in this would make them cancel to and move it to a much later date, October, November, December, is because right away it's the unknown of what is going to be open.
Yeah, like okay, yeah, we're allowing you to book your travel dates to Disney World starting July 1st, but we haven't actually told you that the parks may not be open. Our hotels are gonna be open. Like
it's too many unknowns right now.
I wanna if I live out
And I
of
think
state,
that's why
I wanna know if my hotel may be open. I wanna know though, are the parks open? Because what's the point of me going down to a hotel?
Well, I see this all over social media, Facebook groups, in the Disney
Are hotels
groups.
in Florida even open? Yes, hotels are open.
In Florida, not the Disney ones.
Yeah, we're not talking about Disney though, but
Just
there are Florida
Not
hotels
all
that
of
are
them.
open.
Not all of them. You have to call around to some, Like we stayed at a hotel overnight, Friday night, to the beach we went to. And when my buddy from Penn to Flow said, they got a hotel, I was actually kind of surprised that the hotels were open.
Yeah.
I don't know how
they
many.
were kind of surprised too.
I think so. But Disney one's not open. So I think this is why I see on social media, between Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, people have canceled their dates, that they originally already had, and they're moving it at a later date, October, November, December this year, because of that unknown. Now, they could probably go with, August or something like that, but I feel they've been saying, like, it's too many unknowns. We don't know what's going to be open, so if we move it at a later date, we have a better idea of what could happen.
In regards to that first question, if I cancel, will I get a full refund? I'm going to assume.
Yes.
I don't know because this is all unknown. But like when they first announced that they were closing the parks and the hotels were going to stay open, now we all know that then changed, that the hotels then closed. But when the parks first closed, they announced that the hotels and Disney Springs would remain open. But they said that if your travel dates fell while the parks were closed, that you could cancel or reschedule without penalty. So I would think it would be in Disney's best interest that if you're going to reopen the hotels, but you're not going to have the parks open, that you should offer that same grace that you gave in the first place.
Disney was allowing you to do 24 hours, which is unheard of because even cruise lines, Disney cruises, normally you have to do like a week or 48, 72 hours beforehand, 3 days, whatever it is. And they were letting you do 24 or less than 24 hours that you could cancel and it'd be 100% no penalty. So maybe they'll just go back to, you have 3 days before or 24 hours.
You need to notify us
I think
this
24
much time
hours.
Before your reservation to
I would
cancel.
think 24 hours is sufficient time so there'd be no penalty.
And my thinking is too why some people would still come down. Although, again, I guess we have to look at it as they're saying that the stay-at-home order is no longer in effect. So I'm going to take this one step further that although they are encouraging social distancing, there's not that you have to be 6 feet away. So there may be businesses having conventions or meetings. So some of these convention center Disney hotels, I could still see people coming down if they were coming down for business.
Well, I heard there's that possibility that the hotels will open, but the convention centers will be closed, like Coronado Springs. I was going to say that?
No, I was just doing hypothetical.
I spoke too soon? I ruined your story?
A hypothetical.
I ruined the story?
Whatever.
I ruined the story. Sorry. I heard convention, I just went into my thought process. Our hotels are open in Orlando now. I think some. I don't know which ones.
I know some are.
Yeah. You would really have to call around.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I don't know if
I don't know
they're
rates.
also doing capacity where instead of having all rooms available, they're only doing certain ones. I don't know, but some of them are open.
You'd have to call.
Diane said short-term house rentals are still banned. That is true. And we're
that's
not
true.
supposed to be doing Airbnbs.
No.
You're not supposed to be doing like if we didn't, like this is our house, we own it. But let's say we didn't live here. We used it as a rental. We couldn't do short-term rental. So we could still have like year-long year-long people that are paying, a lease every month. But I couldn't use it as a vacation rental. So I couldn't have someone that's only coming down for a week or two. Couldn't do that. Yeah. So as of right now, all that stuff is still banned.
Yeah. So you have to, what does that say? You should punk up Mickey Mouse? What do you mean?
Hotels in Sarasota were only available for essential travel and required proof.
Okay. So yeah, it comes back to if you decide on where, like what area, like let's say Disney Springs, because that's opening up soon. So let's just say you want to be in that area. Now there's all those non-Disney hotels that are right there.
Your Best Western,
the B or one or something like that.
Resort, a bunch.
Yeah, I just call each one in that area and just see if they're open. What's the capacity? Could you get in?
Yeah.
And some might even have a discount. I don't know. I haven't read anything about discounts, but you never know. There could be. Doesn't hurt to call. So I would just say do that. Call at least 2 to 3 to find out.
I'm going to move on to the next long question.
Okay, story time again. I'm going to lean back. Okay. There we go.
Assuming the following.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home restrictions have been lifted and you are able to travel. No restrictions in Central Florida prevent you from traveling to the area. Travel providers in Central Florida attractions, including the Walt Disney World Resort, will have implemented a new set of health and safety measures, such as all employees and customers wearing face coverings, enhanced disinfecting and cleaning of facilities, limiting capacity and density of large group gatherings, etc. What, if anything, would make you more likely to keep your Walt Disney World reservation for June? Please select all that apply. Pace of new infections in Florida is significantly reduced. My household's job or work situation stays at least as good as it is now. My local government declares it is safe to travel. Proven virus treatment becomes available. I am able to schedule time off for personal schedules are better known. Federal officials declare it is safe to travel. Social distancing regulations are relaxed. Health officials declare it is safe to travel. Pace of new infections in the area where I live is significantly reduced. More widespread testing is available. A variety of businesses in Central Florida reopen. Other, please specify, or nothing. These are the only 3 requirements.
Another long one. So, they're asking
Too much.
a lot, but they're asking what would make you keep your reservation for June and giving all these things that pretty much Florida is open. It's pretty much everything that they said. They could have just basically said the majority of Florida is open. Keep it simple instead of making that long survey or question. Jesus. So, I think of course people would keep their reservation then if the beaches were open, the parks were open, even if it was like a little limited.
Someone said that they will not go if they have to wear a mask in the heat. Because that was one of the requirements is all employees and customers will be required to wear face coverings.
Listen. I'm going to say 100%
that we are going to be
required to wear a face mask. That's just, I think that's it. I don't know if
that's why Disney's already allowing you to pre-order their face masks.
Yeah, so that tells me, and Shanghai, all guests have to wear it. Disney Springs is saying you have to wear it, mandatory.
May 20th, when Disney Springs starts its phase 1 of reopening, if you're gonna go, you gotta wear a face mask.
Now, and this is what I tell people about the face mask thing, because a lot of people are like, the face mask. I don't hear one person really screaming, yay, face mask in the heat.
No, I don't think any of us are doing that.
But if you want to go to Disney, it's one of those things you got to suck up and you're going to do if you want to go.
And again, Disney is privately owned.
They are privately owned.
They can enforce their own rules. It's going to just be a part of their dress code.
That's what it's going to be.
You have to wear socks and shoes. You have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
I understand not wanting to do it. I understand why people would want to cancel. As a local, though, because I don't spend the entire day at the park, I'll suck it up. I'll put the mask on.
I think they said, though, because some people were asking about kids, how are you going to keep a face mask on kids? I think Disney said that children 5 and under do not have to wear a face mask. Because I think they know, like, try to keep a face mask on a kid.
Yeah.
So that's just going to be it. If you know, as bluntly as I can put it and as honest as I can put it, if you want to go to Disney or the theme parks, if you might have to wear a mask. And that just because if you refuse to wear a mask or something that's part of their dress code now,
but I think that's why they're saying is they would cancel.
Yeah.
And I understand it.
I get it because the heat and we'll experience that. I think it's going to be terrible. I think every half hour I'm going to be pulling it down just to breathe a little bit, but then I'm going to put it back on, Eating, you don't need to wear a face mask.
Now, if you're coming down in like December or even January of next year, it's cooler here. I don't think you're going to have much of and if they're still requiring face masks at that point, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue for you to wear one. Because the humidity's gone.
Face masks will probably go away once the vaccine.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they'll have an indicator. That's very far out. That comes into next year.
What, that you got it?
Yeah,
you
like
can't.
Some sort of...
It's against HIPAA.
Yeah.
You cannot. They don't do it for the flu season where you have to notify them if you've gotten your flu vaccine. They won't be able to do that under HIPAA regulations. It's not like at the hospital, we're a healthcare provider. It is required by our job that if you don't get the flu shot, you have to wear a mask during flu season. But I'm in a healthcare setting. I'm treating sick people. I'm around sick people. I also don't want to get sick or give them anything. Disney is not a healthcare provider. No. They cannot require that you show them that you got the vaccine. It is a HIPAA violation. Yeah. They're just going to have to respect the fact that if there is a vaccine, that people who choose not to get the vaccine take precautions to protect themselves and
so I think I'll say once the vaccine comes, it'll be optional to wear a mask. And I think that liability you'll have to check off when you do your purchase your tickets online or whatever in those little underlying small print that nobody sees that they're not going to be liable. But I think it'll be optional once the vaccine comes.
Yeah.
Optional.
It's just like, forget the term COVID. If you went during flu season and you didn't get your vaccine, you could potentially catch the flu from someone else, whether it's Disney or somewhere else. Like, there are healthcare policies set that your healthcare profile accounts need to be protected so that others can't know your health history without you giving permission. Disney can't get away from that. So, can I qualify for a fast pass with a mask? Who knows?
Who knows?
All right.
This one's shorter.
This one's short.
Oh, this one's funny. This is about rides. This is pretty much saying, what do you think are essential rides at Disney? Go ahead. That's pretty much what it's saying. What are essential rides? Go ahead.
You indicated that if select rides, shows, or other entertainment experiences within these theme parks are not available, you would consider canceling your reservation. Please indicate which rides, shows, or other entertainment experiences within theme parks would cause you to definitely cancel your reservation if they were closed. And they allow you to list up to 5. And they don't list all the rides and stuff. You're just supposed to type them in. So I do like that. Which of these rides, shows, attractions do you feel are essential to your trip. List them for us.
Rise of Resistance closed. I ain't going. I'm not going.
Flight of Passage closed. Not going.
I'm not going. I'm not going. No, it's an interesting question. I guess it's part of their survey. So, do you guys have any rides
that you consider essential? That if it is not open when
you're not going.
You're not going.
Is there
you can
any?
List up to 5. I guess if there's more than 5, just try to narrow it down.
I don't know. Muppets is closed 3D.
Haunted Mansion.
I'm not going.
Mountains.
I'm not going. Muppets is going to be a 2D show and not 3D. I'm not going. Like, I don't know. That's such a weird question. I get it.
Flow of Galaxy's Edge is closed. I'm out.
Liar.
You'll still go.
You'll like it. No, I mean, I don't know. It's an honest question, I guess. Disney. It's probably one of those like BS questions, but it was like
it's probably like one of those if some
but
of our
some people will say that like, hey,
and so
if
they're
Galaxy's
going to
Edge
be looking
isn't
at
open,
it as, and I'm sure
not
they're going to be
going.
looking at it already as they know what their hot attractions are. They're going to make sure that they are.
I can't go to Toy Story Land. I'm not going. No, but some people might be that way. Some people might.
They're going to make sure that there's a way that they can sanitize these things and keep these rides open, at least for their hot stuff. I don't care if Carousel Progress is closed. You can keep that closed.
No, that's great in the heat.
Nope.
It's great in the heat. And I love that ride.
You can keep It's a Small World closed. Like, you can keep, forgive me, Spaceship Earth closed. Like, there are certain rides that I don't care if you keep them closed. But there better be certain rides that you keep open. Rise of the Resistance, Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, Flight Passage. I better be able to go on my safaris.
See, Carousel of Progress. I'm not going. That's right.
Oh, I'll go.
I love Carousel of Progress. I rode that ride all day. And just that ride only. If they close stuff, many more queues or
for everything else, yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I thought that was a weird question, but I get it because some people might be that way, you know, and say, like you said, Tower of Terror is not open. I'm not going. You know.
The last question.
Last one.
Whether or not you are interested in these activities, when do you think you would be comfortable doing each of the following? And your responses are now, in the next month, in 2 to 3 months, in 4 to 6 months, more than 6 months from now.
All right, so let's go
I'm
through
going to go
each
one by one.
One by one. So when do you think you would go is what they're asking.
When do you think you would be comfortable doing each of the following?
From now to a couple months, let's just say.
Visiting a theme park or amusement park.
If it was open now, I would be comfortable going.
I'd
go, just because of how close we are, locals. Somebody out of state, probably not. I don't know, maybe. But for us, I'd go.
Visiting a sporting event. I don't really visit too many sporting events.
I'd go to a soccer game.
Yeah, I mean, if I could, I'll go. But
yeah.
That's not something we typically do on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'd go. That'd be interesting. I wonder if it'd be like for stadium seating, because now they're next to you, like one, and then close off 6 seats next to you or something like that, then have somebody else. That'd be interesting to see. But I'd go to a soccer game.
Going to the beach. Well, I already went. So.
I already went to the beach. You know.
Visiting a national park.
I'd go.
I'm going to go. It's not something I typically do, but
I'd go.
If it's open, I'll go. Going to a concert. Depends on the concert.
I think this is where people might get a little weird with the concert things. For those that are like stadium seating, I could see people say, I'll go. For those who are going to like a rock and roll show that have like a mosh pit area and you're sweating and bumping into people, I could see some people saying, I'll go later. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting because I have a lot of people, a lot of friends and bands back in Pennsylvania. So I'll have to ask them how they feel once they're allowed to play show again. If they think people will show because of the mosh pit sweating. Now, it's a punk rock show, so a lot of punk rockers may not care. But I think that kind of depends on, I don't know. That depends on certain things.
Dining out at a restaurant. If it's open, and it's a restaurant I enjoy going to, I'll go.
I think it's gonna be hard to get in restaurants if it's only gonna be
I
25%.
don't care. I'll still go.
If I could go, yeah, because they've indicated that they would give throwaway menus, and I could see them doing throwaway utensils. I could eventually see that, so they don't have to clean as much, and so I'd go. I would test the waters. Why not?
This next one, cruising. I don't think I would go right away.
Cruising, I probably would wait a couple months.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that either 2 to 3 months or 4 to 6 months, just to see kind of how it goes. I think just because cruise ships are incubators for stuff, so I want to make sure that ship is actually sanitized and clean. I'll wait till I hear the headlines of.
I mean, I'm sure all those cruise ships, not just Disney, but all of them, they are doing what they can, because I feel that they feel the cruise companies are the ones to blame. I feel that's how they're taking it. You know what I mean? Because of bringing people from different countries, different things.
Sweet Tomatoes closing. Yes!
Yes, I am.
I am very frustrated with that.
So I see like heavily discounted cruises.
Oh yeah, kind of like
because I
hurricane
think
season,
the companies feel like
people aren't gonna want to go.
We're to blame for this, because we're bringing people from all over the world in situations, and all the headlines read, cruise ship, carries 100 some people, 300 some people that are
10
positive.
10 are dead, 15 are dead.
And it all said cruise, so they probably feel like that looks
and no
really
country
bad.
wanted to accept. I was watching
God.
one thing on YouTube, and it was the coronavirus in Australia, where Australia stopped allowing cruise ships to come in. They were demanding that all cruise ships return to the country that they departed from, and there were some that just docked there, so they weren't allowing the people off the ship. So now you still have them enclosed in this small area. Yeah. I'm going to hold off on that.
I would hold off on the cruising. Couple months. I know some people will jump on it and be like, heck yeah, I can go to Italy for, dirt cheap on a cruise. I'm going. I respect that. I respect that. For me, and I'd probably be kicking myself in the butt because I know I would say no to it because I would want to wait.
I'd be like, man, I'm saving all this money.
But I couldn't go,
But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to.
I would be very conflicted, and I would walk around the house in a circle, scratching my head. What am I going to do?
I don't think I would go right away.
I think, probably not.
Okay. What about visiting a retail store, brick and mortar location? So going to the actual store. I'd go.
We went into a couple stores already at the beach.
You've been going into the grocery stores, people.
Yeah.
I'll go into the retail store.
And a lot of these brick and mortar places, I'm only referencing back up north to our old house, our old home in Pennsylvania, because I still have a lot of friends and people with businesses there. A lot of these are record stores, because I would frequent record stores a lot. So a lot of them are opening up, but they're only letting 6 people in at a time. And then you would have to wait outside if you're, like the 7th or 8th person. And you have to wear a mask. So they're doing what they can to be very protective, try to use the social distancing. It's up to you, you know what I mean? Make sure, be respectful. 6 at a time, you have to wear a mask.
But you're also talking about a very small store, so...
Yeah. Well, that's usually what a brick and mortar is. Yeah. It's a very small...
Well, no, it's saying retail stores. They're talking about brick and mortar, meaning the physical building is what they mean.
Yeah, which only
So they're talking about going to... They're talking about Target.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Walmart.
max capacities are not as, huge.
That's not what they mean by brick and mortar.
At least I know what they mean.
No, you don't.
I do. But...
Anyway.
I think it just depends on what they're doing, but we went into a couple shops at the beach, and there was no problems. It's not like people were on top of each other.
No.
No, I'd go to a retail shop. I can't wait to go back to a record shop, to be honest with you.
Visiting an outdoor mall. I'd go. We haven't gone to the outlets yet.
To see, because I heard not everything is open.
Well, granted though, this was the first weekend
Yeah.
it was open. We were working
anyways, and
all week long, and then we went to the beach.
Yeah,
so
so-
we haven't actually had a chance to really go.
I heard there's only maybe like 5 stores open out of the whole
It's
thing
not
right
a
now.
lot. And I think that's pretty much why we haven't gone. Is not because necessarily the character warehouse is closed, but there's just not enough open for me to go.
I mean, I might go one day, you know, just to walk around, just to see, and plus to, you know, being outside, it's good for you. The fresh air, you know, it's good for you.
Traveling by plane. I think I would be more apt to go on a plane over a cruise, but I don't know if I would get on a plane right away.
I would go on a plane. I don't think I'd have an issue. I think I'd go on the plane.
I don't know.
I think I'd be fine. It doesn't worry me as much as a cruise ship. I think I would do plane. Yeah, I think I would fly.
Yeah.
I think I would.
I don't know.
Especially with the spacing they're going to do with people. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I think I'd be more into flying. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with that.
Hosting an in-person gathering of friends and family. I will do that.
Yeah, I miss the
I'm
friends.
talking about friends and family. I'm not talking about strangers. I miss being around people.
Yeah, we miss it.
I mean, we just were able to be around friends yesterday.
And it was
which
awesome.
was nice.
Because I looked
I
at Lisa, I was like, we need this to like be with people and whatnot.
Be
You know?
out of the house, like just go somewhere. So.
Yeah.
Visit an indoor mall. I actually need to call the Florida Mall to see if Littman's and Zales are open because I need to get my rings checked. They were supposed to be checked last month, but
Yeah.
everything was closed. And I don't know how that's working right now with the like warranties with everything.
I don't know, so you'd have to call and ask them.
But I don't want to like drive all the way out there if they're not, if those two shop. That's like the only reason I go to the Florida Mall, just because it's pretty far from where we're at.
Yeah, it is. It's like
I only go
an
twice
hour or
a
a
year
little
when I
more.
have to go get my rings inspected.
So yeah, I would go to a mall.
But I would go to a mall. I would go to an indoor mall. Yeah, that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Staying in a hotel. Already did it.
We already stayed in a hotel, so we didn't have an issue. I don't have any feelings. I don't feel any sickness right now.
And then the last one, going to a movie theater. Depends what movie's playing.
Yeah, it depends on the movie. What movies are out?
Will depend on if I go to the theater.
Exactly.
But there's a movie that I want to see and they deem that theaters are safe to go to. I'll go.
I'll go to a movie. I want my popcorn. You know, my cherry Coke. Watch a movie? Yeah, I'd go. If they deem it safe. It'd be interesting to see how the seating arrangements are. I wonder if it'd be like every other seat or something like
Carol
that.
said she has to wait for Canada to let her out.
I know. Well, a lot of people are waiting. Canada, Australia, UK,
A lot
people
of-
in the UK.
yeah, a lot of
It's in a lot of
countries.
countries.
Well, and it's also one of those things too that even if they want to get out of their country, then it also depends on what the sales is at the outlet too. I know, Ashlyn. Sorry, she messaged me. But Littman's isn't.
Littman's,
so I
it's-
still have to go
Yeah, we
to
have.
the Florida Mall because I have one ring from Littman's and one ring from Zales.
Oh, Pendaflow says he sanitized the entire room before you guys even showed up.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks.
thanks, buddy. But I mean, I could see people doing that. Like they're going to, let's say, Disney hotel, and I could see people bringing a can of Lysol or some disinfectant and spraying. I could see people doing that. Why? I mean, why not? I think that would almost be a normal thing.
Yeah.
I could see people doing now just to take that precaution. Spray down with the can of
I
Lysol.
wish
don't
the
know.
outlets had Littman's because then I wouldn't have to travel so far.
I know.
And then we go to the outlets anyway when we go to do the character warehouse. I could just do everything there. But they only have Zales. I need them to get Littman's in there. And I'll do everything there.
So is that the last one?
That was the last one.
Okay, so those were both the new Universal and Disney survey. Universal one was very weird. Disney was very long.
Yeah. Disney's was way too long, even though it was only 4 questions. Their questions were too long.
Too long.
And Universal was just random.
It was very random. But I understand. I think I could see them doing one more survey. And I think that will give them everything that they need. If you could find Lysol to buy. We found face masks you could buy, surgical ones, and we saw, I saw 2 different gas stations they had hand sanitizer in like baskets right at the cash register.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a thing.
At the hotel, you could buy
Oh,
hand
sorry.
sanitizer and face mask out of the vending machine.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Still
don't know what 18 units was, though.
No. We went to the Circle K gas station for a drink before we went to the beach, and we saw they were selling a pack of 5 surgical face masks.
For $6.
I thought it was 7. Either way, it was $6 or $7.
good.
It was still pretty good for a 5 pack. Starting to be able to find things now. Yeah, we're able to slowly find things a little bit better.
I found Lysol wipes and spray. So excited.
I know, this is the things you get excited about when you're older. Do you think the virtual queues will be expanded more than just rides? Yes, I do. I do. I think that's going to be a lot. I think that's going to be how they're going to separate.
But what are you going to do while you're waiting for your times if...
You're just going to walk around. That's it. Walk around in the open.
Because, I mean, if they do virtual queues for all rides, well, when it's not your time...
I saw some pictures with Shanghai, how they are doing some of their queues. They have, like, little boxes that says, like, do not stand here.
How are you both coping? Are you both okay?
Mentally?
I'm losing my mind.
Mentally? I think, no, my mental state has never been good.
Physically, we are fine. We are healthy. Mentally, we are ready for just... Yes, Florida started phase 1 reopening, so it was nice getting out of the house.
Hairdressers open tomorrow in Florida.
Yeah. I need more stuff opening so that...
I just want life to get back to, like
semi-normal?
Yeah, because normal is not going to be, I still think, for another 3 years. 2 years at least. Normal. Hell, I don't know if we'll ever actually see normal anymore. Moving forward in life. There will be a new sense of normal. I think you're correct. We will find a new way, and that will be the new normal. So what we're saying is a thing of the past that could be. Because now we'll be referring to last week type, or 2 months ago, normal is now considered back in the day when I was,
Back in the day. How my grandfathers would tell you how they walked uphill both ways to and from school?
Yeah.
We're going to be those new sets of grandparents.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, and it's only like 2 months ago, you could do this and that. Now you can only do this.
You can walk around freely without people criticizing you for out.
I think normal... If you want to get it to the original normal that we've all known, I think it's going to be 2 years. Or it's not going to be at all. Like I said, it's going to be a brand new normal. And I don't know what that is. We were supposed to have flying cars by now. Like Back to the Future.
Teaching people how to wash their hands.
We were supposed to do that. We're going backwards. But that's okay, I guess. It's what it is. But these are the surveys. I hope you enjoyed them. If you didn't get them. So... I'm going to say that's it. That's it. We're done. And we'll give you more news because, well, it's happening. And you're going to get a lot of news and you're going to see a lot of articles from Shanghai. And I'm telling you, people, read those articles. Watch the news from Shanghai Disneyland, because if all that stuff works, you can guarantee they're implementing all that stuff here in the States. I'm telling you, that's the way it's going to go. For the time being, at least. Well, that's it, guys. We will see you next time for another randomness, trivia, something. I don't know. Maybe I'll hit Lisa. Lisa will hit me. I don't know. Something. And more Disney news along the way. We'll see you next time, guys. Vlog finito.